Hi everybody, this is Joel Kennedy with Kennedy Violins. So today is another play-along video, and we are going to be going over Bourrée out of Suzuki Book 2. Okay, so remember, every week I do a play-along video, and at the end of the video, I use the dartboard of destiny back there. It will determine the piece for next week. So at the end of this video, I'll be throwing a dart. Okay, so let's play Bourrée. Okay, and that's that. Okay, so now I'm going to play through it with the metronome, so you guys know exactly where each beat falls. Now, we are in common time, right? That's that big C in the staff. That means 4/4, right? So 4 beats measure, quarter note gets the beat, and we're also in the key of G major. Okay, so I'm going to put the metronome on 115. So this is quarter note. Da, 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 da. Da, da, da. Okay, and I'm not going to play all the repeats in this just for time. One, two, three. 1, 2. 1, 2. One, two, three. Okay, so that's that. Okay, so this is a pretty cool piece, and as usual, Suzuki is trying to teach you things, skills that you will need as a violinist, and you'll need them when you start playing more complicated pieces. So let's talk about some of the things that Suzuki's trying to teach you, and I'll give you a few strategies for some of the more difficult parts. Okay, so we're in key of G major, right? So that means we have 1 sharp, right? So that 1 sharp is F sharp. So our finger pattern on the violin is, high 2 on the G, right? That's our B natural. So remember, there's high 2 and there's low 2. High 2, low 2. High 2 touches the 3, low 2 touches the 1. There's no in between. So high 2 on the G, high 2 on the D, low 2 on the A, that's our C natural, and low 2 on the E, that's our G natural, right? First finger is going to be the same on every string, right? So that F sharp actually shows up if you put your first finger the same place you will on the A or the D, the G, that's actually F sharp on the violin. Okay, so that's your finger pattern. Now, one of the things that Suzuki's trying to teach you is that they're starting to introduce a lot more accidentals, right? So they're giving you notes that are contrary to what the key signature tells you. So the key signature tells you that your second fingers on the A are low. Those are your C's. So usually in the key of G major, you play a C natural. It's a low second finger. But now they're going to throw some C sharps at you. Okay, so the third line, second measure to the last, right? They have this run, right? Right? All those second fingers are high. So just notice that the first time that that C sharp occurs in the second measure from the end, they mark the C sharp. But the second one, they don't mark it. Why? Because remember, the rule is without accidentals is that if they give you an accidental, that note is going to be changed for the entire measure unless they tell you otherwise. So any second finger that you get in that measure is going to have to be a high second finger. So they also show you fourth line down, first measure, it's sharp again, right? So now they're showing you, the difference between low two and high two. And remember, I can't stress this enough because when I used to teach, young violinists this piece, the second finger always gives them trouble. Just remember that your second finger either touches your two, that's your low second finger, your C natural, or it touches your three. So when you're playing this run, practice it slowly. Make sure that you play a high second finger, and when you put that third finger down, it touches that second finger. Touches. Touch. Okay, so then we have a high third finger in the fourth line last measure. That's our D sharp. Now, usually our third finger's here, but now we have to raise it a half step. So now that third finger is going to be a half step from your four. So if you were to play, now that third finger is going to touch the four, right? So your third finger is either going to touch that high two, if you have a high two, or it's going to touch the four. There's no in between. So make sure when you play that high third finger that it touches that fourth finger when you put it on. So my suggestion when you're practicing this, because it does give people a little bit of difficulty, keep the third finger down, that high third finger. Keep it down when you play that fourth finger because it'll help you place that fourth finger. Don't be a cheater and play an open, all right? Learn something and play the fourth finger instead of an open E. So another thing, you have a fourth finger on the E string, the measure before that. So you have you should keep your second finger down while you play that fourth finger. Why? Because that stretch is something that you need to learn. That will teach your hand, because this is not the guitar, you don't have frets, right? So you have to teach your body through feel and listening where your fingers go. So keep that second finger down, and that stretch to that fourth finger, your body is going to memorize that, and hopefully you play it in tune. Your body's going to memorize what that feels like. So every time you play that fourth finger on the E, you're going to know where to put that fourth finger. Then pick it up, high three, touch. Okay, and then they put a natural on it in the next measure, right? So fifth line down, first measure, they put a natural on it. Now they don't have to do that. It's not required for them to put a natural, but they're just reminding you, oh, by the way, we're in a different measure now where that sharp third finger was. So now you got to make sure you play a natural third finger again. Okay, so let's find some other stuff to talk about. Okay, so let's talk about your bow distribution a little bit. So remember, I'm a broken record about this. Wherever you are on the violin, wherever you are in the bow, right? You could be at the tip, you could be in the middle, you could be at the frog. Wherever you are, it's because you have determined that that's the best place to be. So you are in control, you are deciding where you are in the bow, and you're consistent about it. So when you're practicing, you're telling yourself, oh, I'm going to play this part in the middle. Oh, I'm going to use a lot of bow here so I can get to the frog, or whatever, right? So never play randomly. So for the most part, as is most Suzuki songs, you're going to be pretty much in the middle of the bow. So you're going to be using up mostly this area of the bow for the most part, right? And when you have the piano sections, you're going to be a little higher in the bow. When you have forte sections, you're going to be using a little bit more of the middle to the lower part of the bow, right? So you can get a little loud. So we have dynamics in here. So they range from double piano, double quiet, right? That would be like, for example, the very last line. You see that to the first measure, you see that double piano. Okay, so they have you crescendoing up to a forte. So that's really good practice for you to learn good bow control. So in the beginning, we want to be pretty much in the middle of the bow. We're going to start a little lower to give us a little space for that slur. And use a lot of bow on this one because we crescendo, then back down, then little bows, then gradually use more and more bow. Right? And since we're crescendoing there on the, right, we're preparing that by using that third finger. We're preparing, because that's the loudest note of it, we're preparing that by working our way towards the lower part of the bow. And the other reason is because we have to go quiet again for the next section. Now we can do that piano. Okay, so that's about it for the dynamics for the most part. But just remember, when you have a double piano, right, it occurs again fifth line from the bottom, last measure. We have our first double piano. So you're trying to play as quietly as you can. Right? Okay. One more thing, Suzuki tends to give you staccato, right? They'll put a dot on a note to indicate a short note, but they'll put it 2 notes in a bow, right? So they'll do, right? They do that a lot. But in this instance, they're giving you the same bowing, 2 notes in a bow, and what I'm referring to is the third measure, second line, open 2, 3, right? They're giving you a slurred note, but they're putting the line on there. What does the line mean, right? It means legato. So now instead of, which would be staccato, now you're doing legato. So now we're just giving the notes a little push. Right? Now if those lines weren't there, it'd just be, we wouldn't be stopping the bow at all. But since we have those legato lines, we're stopping the bow a little bit. And how much you do is up to you, but just make sure that you are in control. Okay, so I think that really sums it up for this piece for the most part. You just want to practice these runs slowly and pay particular attention to your second fingers. That's what you're really learning in this piece. You're also learning, remember, bow control, making sure you're keeping your bow straight and you're in a certain part of the bow and really working on your beautiful sound and your dynamics, right? So make sure you are trying to play those pianos, you're trying to play the mezzo fortes, you're trying to play the fortes, you're trying to play those double pianos, right? And you are in control of your bow. And you want to, of course, start slow and then build a speed up. So guys, I hope this helps with this particular piece. Let's throw the dartboard of destiny. No, we're not throwing the dartboard. We're throwing a dart at the dartboard of destiny. Okay, I mess it up every week. One of these days, I'll actually get it. So let's do that. Okay, I have my weapon in hand. Hopefully there are no stray personnel in the area. And we will find out what our piece is going to be for next week. Here we go. Okay, that was not even on the dartboard. Yeah, you wouldn't want to be betting on me in Vegas. But the closest piece is Book 2 Musette. So next week, we're going to be going over Book 2 Musette. So guys, as usual, I hope you like and subscribe. I do play-alongs every week, and I do tutorial videos as well to help you with any technical difficulties you might have. And I do listen to you guys, right? So a lot of my video ideas are because you guys asked me to. You said, hey, do a video on this, do that. So I'm going to be doing a video this week on how to play 2 strings at a time, right? Double stops, right? Because people asked me to. So with that, I hope you guys have a good time practicing, and we'll see you next time, and have a great day.